Hey, how's it going, patrons? There are people who waited a year because this is like behind a paywall, but then after a year they go public. Um, which I don't know why I started doing that because it doesn't seem to drum up interest. Anyway, this is episode 125, which is the one where I have to lie about the topic. And it's going to be an interesting one because it's a sponsored topic. So somebody wasted their money. For $1, they could have voted for something else. Anyway, this show's complicated and doesn't make any sense. Let me get the thumbnail. Fingers crossed. That's the sign of lying, right? Shit-eating grin. All right. Good one. Okay. Let's think of an opening line, and then let's record the show. Sorry. You almost got sick beats this week, by the way. My voice, just came back, so... Would I lie to you? And then this is where the theme song goes. I get quiet for this part. You guys get that, the podcast is like an audio thing, and this video is just to prove that I do it all in one take. You guys get that, right? Even though sometimes I snap my fingers and it's not all one take. But whatever. I don't know. I don't know what you want. What do you want from me? You're listening to Fix My Car Cast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 125. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert is totally, definitely, actually going to join us at the end of this episode. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. It is the greatest merch ever made in the history of this and all other planets across multiple timelines. No new donors this week. The total raise for paying off my car repair debt is still holding at $2,250. Also, when we get to $3,000, it unlocks an automatic show gimmick, which is I will record an episode at sea. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $10,000? We're very close. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever, unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to say the title of a completely different podcast? I'll do it. $50. Also, if you would like to own the painting that I made in episode 118... I'll be giving it away to the next person who donates $100 or more. That's right. Own a piece of Fix My Car Cast history while you still can. Yeah? Is that... No one's gonna question... Okay. Fuck it, moving on. No new patrons this week, bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is the time I had to help deliver a baby on a bus. Want to know more? Donate today. Checking in on the best city in the world, based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and our big winner is... Freeport, Maine. Congratulations, Freeport, Maine. Let it be known that your Wolf's Neck Farm, Bow Street Memorial Park, and Mast Landing Audubon Sanctuary are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I talked about the album Aquemini by Outkast while doing it like a wedding toast. You can see video of all the raw footage, plus a little extra, over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about Limitless Wrestling. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are fly a drone, put 10 marbles in your mouth, do it like a manosphere podcast, and our returning gimmick, incorporate 25 periodic table elements. Let's review. That's number 1, fly a drone. Number 2, put 10 marbles in your mouth. Number 3, do it like a manosphere podcast. And if you don't know what that is, you're living your life right. And our returning gimmick number 4 incorporates 25 periodic table elements. Also, I wrote put 10 marbles in your mouth, and I'm going to fix that right now because that should say my mouth, because the language is always regarding me as my. So I messed up there, and I fixed it on the fly. I'm just that good. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, May 30th at noon Eastern America time. All right. Time for today's gimmick, which is lie about the topic. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the gimmick zone. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. Today's topic comes to us from Tara for $20, and I've been asked to review the album Like Clockwork. Now, if I haven't explained it on the show already, I made a social media post where I said, hey, I'll be taking a long drive. So if you sponsor an episode, I will add an album to the playlist that I'm going to listen to while I go on that drive. So you can go back through the previous episodes. I listened to Desperate Times, Desperate Measures by Adult Girl. I listened to Risque by Chic. And I listened to Aquemini by Outkast. Now, the last album on the list that I listened to on my road trip is Like Clockwork, which is by the band Human Chainsaw Machine. Now, admittedly, I'd never heard of them before. I wasn't quite sure what their sound was. I almost feel like, I think it's deliberate. It's an ironic name because like I was going and picturing like, oh, is this going to be like, heavy metal, speed metal, something like that. I was pleasantly surprised, but I also couldn't quite tell you what the genre was. Now, if you listen to our past episodes, the sponsors were only like $5, $7. So the most that I wrote down was the album titles. But for this one, $20, you've earned yourself some extra research. So I've done some in-depth notes on each track. There's 14 tracks on the album. And let's get into it now. So the opening is really something. The first track on the album is called Explosion. And I kind of love that because like it kind of creates this like weird juxtaposition. Because like you see a title like Explosion, you're like, okay, so this thing's gonna be blasting right out the gate. And also Human Chainsaw Machine, so I'm expecting like, okay, what is this metal stuff? But it's called Explosion, but there's never like anything loud in it. It is just like kind of a 2-minute intro, and it is like setting up tension. There's no lyrics, which surprised me. It's like a full just 2 minutes of like the music getting a little bit more intense, and like I found that really interesting. And I remember I kept looking at the title, like when it came up on my dashboard, I was like, okay, so like when does it explode? And like it's just kind of like the tension just builds and builds and builds and builds, and then it cuts out. And then the next track is called Silence, and it opens with just a full-on scream. So like the album is like toying with like our expectations of like, okay, the title of this one is Explosion, there's nothing explosive. The next one is called Silence, and it's loud as shit. And like I would like boom, right away I was like, okay, I am excited. I am down to see like what this album is. And so yeah, it just starts with this like guttural scream, and then like there's drums and there's guitar, but like there were some instruments I couldn't place, and it all just comes like barreling out at you. And then there was the one lyric that really stuck out to me. I asked you to be quiet and it's not enough. And like that's fucking, I love that. And like the name of the track being Silence is like, and so I've realized that like Human Chainsaw Machine kind of plays with like oh, what's the band I'm thinking of? New Order. Like sometimes the title of a song should be the title of a different song. Like they will make a song title a lot, and like I feel like that's what Human Chainsaw Machine is doing here. You know, I didn't look up like any of the band members after the fact, and I regret that. But like, yeah, the vocals on this one are like, and I tend not to like screaming music that well. I should mention though, like the music is like it's pretty, but like it is designed to be grating, if that makes sense. Like they're doing this like interesting thing with the synth where like it's like a very complicated like arpeggio thing, but like the like it's wild that it's like the lyrics are very simple and like kind of flat. It opens with the scream and then the vocals get quiet while the music is doing like this really complicated stuff. And again, it's just this whole thing about like I need quiet. Like it kind of puts you in the headspace of like I need quiet right now, but the song just cacophony and complexity is like drives home like I need quiet but I'm not getting it, and quiet is not enough. I need silence. And again, but like at no point is like I don't think unless I missed it, the word silence is never in the song. So like I kind of like the way that you sort of listen to it and you're like I need you more than quiet, the definition of which is silence, but then you know they never say that. And like so yeah, so I really liked that. And I remember thinking like, is the whole album gonna be like this? No. The next one was pretty straightforward, just called Breakup. And yeah, 3 didn't grab me as much. For like all the interesting stuff they were doing in the first two, 3 was just kind of like a straight, you know, alternative like breakup song. And like I could see like I feel like it's following a story, like explosion, so like we're leading up to a breakup. You know, the album being titled like Clockwork, it kind of has this like inevitability to it of like, you know, sensing like where things are going, which is interesting because like not all the tracks felt like part of like a whole, but like some of them did. I think that's why 3 like wasn't as interesting to me, because it kind of felt like maybe the hit that would be on the radio, like the one that they would really push is like, you know, just like, hey, just like they're doing like the 3 chords thing. And like, yeah, it felt kind of like, I want to say like Ramones, but like there was a really interesting buzz on the guitar. Oh, and that's the other thing. The first 2 tracks like seem to have like a lot going on musically. Like there's a lot of instruments, but then Breakup is just, it's clicking for me just now. Is it because they're breaking up the format of the, I don't know, you know, that actually did not occur to me while I was taking my notes, but that's interesting. So yeah, Breakup, yeah, nothing really flashy about it to me. Like it just seemed like a standard, like we need to end this. Like, yeah, didn't really grab me. But then the next track, Plane Ticket, like that one was like they went back to like the complexity thing. There was like acoustic guitar, and then like I don't know if it was an actual theremin, but like it had like the vibe of a theremin, and like it also like slowed down. Like I feel like Explosion was like a build, and then Silence was just like bah! And then Breakup is just kind of like, okay, it's, you know, but then like Plane Ticket like just slows everything down. Feels like, you know, just like the anxiety of like waiting to get on a plane and like just staring at your ticket and being like, okay, here we go. Very minimal on the lyrics. What did I put here? Yeah, it's just staring at my plane ticket, wondering when it's time to go. Which like at first I was like, that's weird. Doesn't it tell you when your flight is leaving on the ticket? But like then I remember like I've actually only been on a plane once, despite having an uncle who's a pilot. like so that was interesting to me because I was like, is that deliberate? And then I was like, oh, maybe that does kind of tie into the themes of like knowing when something's going to happen, but it doesn't seem to be happening at the time it is. Got Like Clockwork. Okay, this okay. I'm gonna be honest. Some of this stuff didn't land for me, and I'm not trying to make a pun around Plane Ticket. But yeah, like that's interesting. Like, yeah, this was a really interesting album. I really liked this album. Go check it out as soon as you can. Like Clockwork, Human Chainsaw Machine. I need to look into their other album. I hope they have other albums. I didn't actually look. I listened to this so long ago and then just kind of moved on with my life. But like, yeah, there's a lot going on here. So then we come to track 5, which is Kick It. And this one is just it's like very 4 on the floor beat. Because it's a kick drum. Okay, yeah. They're doing a lot of clever stuff with the titles. And like this one, like it kind of felt like a pump up anthem, like kind of like getting ready for something else. So it's like, yeah, like Kick It comes on, and it's kind of like it felt like the kind of one that like the audience is clap for. And then yeah, like just what was that one line? I don't know if I'm ready to start, but I'm ready to kick it. Okay, damn it. Okay, I have in my notes, kick it means death, but there's no mention of death, so I don't think they're playing with that. The kick drum thing I feel like is definitely deliberate. But yeah, that one like got the energy up. Like I feel like Plane Ticket was a nice, like, you know, slow things down and then boom boom boom. So yeah, that one felt like dancier. Like it definitely had some like disco, you know, like kind of an influence. I like that one a lot because like I like disco. I mean, see the Chic review. So yeah, that one was good. That one was really fun. And then the next track on the album was Lost, and I don't want to jump ahead, but the next track is called Found. And like I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm not classically trained musically, so like I could tell that they were designed to like it's okay. I don't like jazz chords. I don't fully understand, but like, you know how you just hear a jazz song and you're like, oh, they're really jazzing this one. Like I wouldn't call it jazz per se. Like it's mostly the guitar, like the banjo, and then like the piano on this one is like the chords were like, what is that? I realize I'm jumping ahead, but like, so Lost feels like it's very experimental. Like the piano is all over the place. The banjo is kind of consistent, but like, and you know, the lyrics, you know, nothing stuck out. Nothing stuck out to me about the lyrics. It was kind of like, you know, forever lost, can't find my way. Yeah, the lyrics didn't grab me on that one. Very generic. I did like they were doing something interesting with the backup vocals on Lost. And then I don't want to use my music terms incorrectly, but it kind of felt like, okay, if I understand this correctly, I think it was discordant. Discordant. Is that the right word? I don't know. If you're a music major, get at me. Tell me how I'm using all these terms wrong. But yeah, so like Lost was like just, I think what was happening, like I don't know if all the instruments were playing in the same key. And like it was fucking weird. Okay, I don't know much about the banjo. Was the banjo detuned? Like I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day about how on the American Beauty soundtrack, like one of the instruments is a detuned mandolin, and now I'm thinking like, is that what that was? Is the banjo detuned? Anyway, Lost is like this beautiful kind of mess where it's like it's almost deliberately only 80% of the way to a finished complete good song, and then Found hits, and it's like every piano chord is just sharp. Now what's interesting is it's just piano and drums, and I didn't expect that either. And then and that like it's just like everything's stripped down. So like I feel like it's like they're focusing on like, you know, like, so you listen to Lost and you're like, okay, yeah, okay, interesting, okay, like it's weird and like it's deliberately weird, and then you get to Found and it's like, okay, and like I feel like the piano chords were like in the same key as Lost, but like just more harmonious. And then I've been found, but who found me? Was like the real key. Like that was the chorus. Like, and I was like, that's interesting. That's interesting. Like, okay, I've been found. So like, someone sees who I am, but who found me? And I think like that is kind of interesting conceptually in terms of like, you know, I've been found but who found me is sort of like, I think that's someone being like, you helped me like figure out my identity, you see me for who I am, but there's this weird feeling of like, but wait, who are you? Like the person who claims they see me, who are they? And what's interesting, and again, like a lot of the textures on this album, very, very interesting, is like, it's sort of like the music like gets more enjoyable and pretty, but like that whole like, look, I'm doing fine, but like who's the person who helped me get to fine? What's their deal? And again, like it doesn't feel coherent enough to be like a concept album, but like they're playing with like this and this, like, you know, it's not like full on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, but like it's like they're definitely playing with stuff there. And so the interesting thing is that like Found does this interesting like reversal of like, I understand myself, but who are you? Who are you, the one that helped find me? And that leads us into Moving Back In. So I don't think these are telling a coherent story, but like there's this sort of like, I think they're just like moods and atmospheres. So Moving Back In, it weirdly has like a similar energy to Kick It. The synths are going nuts. They're doing like a lot of interesting effects, and like the lyrics are I'm home for now. This is home for now, which is like, at first I was like, you can't rhyme now with now, but like it worked the way they did it. It was like, it's like, I'm home for now. This is home now. And like a lot of the lines were like playing off of like, you know, what is home? And also moving back in, implying this is somewhere you've been before. So I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, the synths were just like squelchy. I don't know if that's a quality a lot of people like in their music, but I love me a squelchy synth, and like that just got me right from the beginning. I'm like, yep, keep squelching at me, I'll move back in on this. So yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to say about so there's another fully instrumental piece, and it's again, it's short, it's only like a minute 30. Sorry, you almost got sick beats this week. I've made it a pretty long time without coughing, and I'm proud of myself. So yeah, the next track, just instrumental, which again, didn't expect. Very short. I could not tell. It had like the audio quality made it sound like, so this is interesting. It sounded like a sample. It sounded like a piece of music just grabbed from an old movie. And did I say the title? Yeah, Intermission. Intermission is the title of the song, and like I picked up on this like as a cinephile. Like I realized it had the sound of a movie projector, like very subtle, but like I don't know if it's from something. My guess is it's a wholly original piece, but like it's supposed to evoke like, this is old. This is some like half remembered thing. And then of course, intermission in the middle of a show. They should bring intermissions back during long movies. That's my hot take. We pause this music interview for opinions on movies. So yeah, that was intermission. And then when it comes back, it has this like fanfare. I want to say a full orchestra, though admittedly, when did this album come out? Okay, 2007. It had this like cinematic fanfare, and again, it felt like juxtapositionalized with like that old timey like movie sound from intermission, and then contrasted with this feels like a big Hollywood blockbuster, and that's the title of the song is Hollywood Blockbuster. And yeah, the lyrics are just like, I'm not your Hollywood blockbuster, so why'd you buy a ticket? So like I really love that one, and like doing this big like cinematic thing. Like it's hard to describe. It didn't feel like a musical number. Like, yeah, it was almost like someone just wrote something to be sung over like a movie score, and I found that really fascinating. I liked that a lot. So yeah, that one was great. And then are we how far in are we? Okay. All right. 4 more tracks? I don't know. Was I counting intermission? I can't remember. So yeah, after Hollywood Blockbuster, another like real rockin' one. Not a lot to speak of in terms of like sonic bells and whistles. Like it felt like just another like straight. It felt kind of Ramones-y. If I'm maybe not qualified to say that. Like I don't listen to a lot of like rock music. But yeah, like it had like a bubble gum like pop punk kind of a thing going on that I wasn't expecting. And what was the title of that one? Oh, Stuck. Yeah, like very, very simple titles, like real short, like 1 or 2. I did not write anything about the lyrics for Stuck. That's interesting. I remember enjoying the words, but yeah, I did not take any notes on the lyrics for Stuck. That's interesting. Yeah, just kind of felt like a straight up rock song. Yeah, and then it leads into this was interesting. There's only one track on the album with accordion. I don't immediately get where it fits, and like this is the thing. I like when music gets quirky. The song is called Robot, and maybe some beeps and boops, some synthy things. But yeah, it was like drums, guitar, and accordion. And like, I didn't see that coming. You see a song called Robot, you don't think it's going to be that. But yeah, it is like, I'd say it's the closest thing to a story song, where it's basically a robot is like aging, getting older and older and older. Like it's been like abandoned and it's trying to fix itself, but like it's coming to terms with the fact that like there's gonna be a finite look. I can only keep fixing myself for so long. There is an end in sight. And yeah, so this song was a real surprise. This one was like, okay, not what I expected sonically. And then Robot, like I was assuming like with the vibe of the rest of the album, especially because a lot of it is about like difficulties communicating with other people. I thought it was gonna be like I don't hate this trope, but like I get it. Is like I thought Robot it was going to be about like you don't have enough feelings, but no, it wasn't that at all. Like it was just this straight up story song about like a robot trying to fix itself and just coming to terms with, hey, this isn't going to last forever. So yeah, that one really stuck out to me. I would say Robot by Human Chainsaw Machine. That is the track to get you into this album. I'm always fascinated by that. It like if you're not gonna listen to the whole thing, where should I start? And like I don't normally say that. I think this album was really great. Listen to it beginning to end. Excuse me. But yeah, Robot like really stuck out to me. Okay, well, let's wrap this thing up. Controller, which I don't think it really had any parallels. I don't think it really had any parallels with Robot, but I remember when I saw the track listing, I was like, Robot, Controller, okay, where are we going with this? Yeah, so Controller, didn't love that one. Didn't love that one. Like, just like, it's the only one where the vibes felt off. And I didn't look at any like liner notes, but like, it so like it was too ambitious. Controller is too ambitious. It was like trying to make like kind of like a metaphor about like no, I'm giving it too much credit. It's kind of some like cliched bullshit about video games and like your partner treating you like you're a video game. And like I get the cleverness of like controller, get it? Because you're my controller, you're trying to control me. But like there were some like I'm not much of a gamer, but like I'm pretty sure like there's something about like, oh, get in the warthog, and I was like, is that from Halo? Like I've never played Halo, but I just like something in my brain went like, oh, are we literally doing this? Like, are we doing references to video games? And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not a gamer. So like, if they'd done a version of this with like like movies, like what's interesting is that like Hollywood Blockbuster didn't actually have that many specific movie references, but yeah, in this one, like it was a lot about like power-ups and levels and like stuff like that. And like I don't know, it just kind of fell flat. It didn't really work for me. That said, 2 tracks left. So once again, they're being very playful. The next track is called The End. And this one is, I know I said like it's not like metal, but like yeah, this one just leads in with like a big metal riff, and like it's like very apocalyptic imagery. We're all going down, no one's getting out. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I got confused. All right, I just have to jump ahead. The last track on the album is called Not the End, and I'm not, I need to figure out which of these notes goes with which. Okay. So the end like very like feels like very like Thor Ragnarok, like the end. Interestingly, they never mention like Ragnarok, but like there's a very like apocalyptic sort of like here we go, let's wrap this up, which I think is very deliberate. I kind of think they want you to like they're singing about it's the end, it's the end, it's the end, it's over, it's all over. And so I think it's so that they can pull the fake out of not the end. And so here's the thing though, I liked the end. They should have ended on the end. I feel kind of shitty saying that, but like, yeah, they should have ended on the end. It's really intense. It just like really goes and goes. It's shit. I don't have it written down here how long it actually was. God, it had to have been at least 8 minutes. Like it's a real like, yeah, we're fucking rapping this thing. We're ready to rock some fucking faces off. And just go. They're like that double kick. Like they're really going nuts with that. Lots of like crazy drum fills. The riffs are all over the place. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I noticed. Not a lot of solos on this album. Which is fine, but like I think the fact that there's such a crazy solo, there's like this like distorted guitar solo that's just like phenomenal in the end, and that just kind of made me realize like, oh yeah, none of these other songs really had solos. That's interesting. I wonder if they had like I didn't write anything down, but I wonder if they had like a guest guitarist or something. It just felt very like show-offy, but like in a way that worked. So I really appreciated that. And then Not the End is just piano and vocals. And yeah, it's just like a nice, quiet, again, playing with juxtaposition of like tracks on the album of like, okay, we have the end and then not the end. And then what's interesting about this one is they never say the words not the end. I don't even think this song had a chorus, actually, now that I think about it. Um, yeah, no chorus. That's interesting. Yeah, it felt like a very like free-form poem. Um, Gosh, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that must have been like the actual origin of it. Like I feel like that was the vibe. So yeah, not the end. I would have ended it on the end, but like yeah, not the end. Pretty good. So yeah, and then like it didn't like I listened to an album recently. Oh, the Chemical Brothers' most recent album. Not only is the whole thing designed like one giant mega mix, not unlike, say, Unfinished Housing Project, which you can find on my Patreon, or any of the Sick Beats episodes of this very show. You almost got the fourth installment this week, but I sniffled it up. But yeah, like when it got to the end, it ended really abruptly in a way that I was like, "Oh, I bet it starts over again." It doesn't. I think it was more just like they're playing with the idea of like it's not the end, therefore we're denying you a big ending. Like, and again, I'm not musically savvy, so like we know the standard endings to songs, and like it kind of builds up to like resolving, and then it doesn't. It just cuts off. And I remember like skipping back to the first track to be like, oh, maybe it resolves at the beginning. It doesn't. So yeah, I think it has like a psychological effect of like making you want to hear more. And I wanted to. Also, by the way, if the number of tracks that I told you is not the number of tracks that I said at the beginning, yeah, there were some extra ones. They were weird. As always, check out the bonus episode for another album review. And to all you video watchers, I feel terrible that Lie About the Topic won when we had a sponsor. When I came up with that gimmick, we were in a dead space. And so I was like, lie about the topic, that'll be fun because it'll be like, rutabaga farming. And then I'll be like, haha, it's about the steel industry in Detroit. So I was like, that'll be a fun one to just deflect, Oh, bananas? Nope, we're talking about Apollo 14. So that's what I was hoping. Tara, who can't see this, I don't think, but I don't know. I hope you're a good sport about what happened, because you just paid $20 for not what you requested. Though it is interestingly complicated, which we'll get into in the bonus episode. See you in the bonus episode.